Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today, we're continuing my 2021 year-end top 10s as we look at my number 5 light heavyweight in the world right now at 175 pounds. He is the former super middleweight champion, Callum Smith of the United Kingdom. You know, Callum Smith was entering 2021 coming off of a rough 2020. He finally got the big fight that he wanted, and it was luckily against Canelo Alvarez, and he had an opportunity to unify belts in that fight too, as he was challenging for the vacant WBC title as well. And he pretty much got dominated and showed nothing against Canelo. He really did not have an answer for Canelo. He got pretty much beaten up the entirety of the fight. It was a one-sided affair. He went to the scorecards and lost a one-sided unanimous decision, and that was all she wrote for Callum Smith. And really, in many regards, you could say he was written off, after that. But there was talks that he would move to light heavyweight, and because of his size and everything and opportunities. And he followed through with that. So in September, 9 months after the loss to Canelo, he returned and would take on Lenin Castillo, who was a former world title challenger. Lenin Castillo went 12 rounds with Dimitri Bivol back in 2019, so not a bad fighter. And he went 12 rounds. He got beat the whole time, but this was a good measuring stick for Callum Smith to test himself against that light heavyweight in his first fight. And man, would he pass that test with flying colors. He landed a wicked right hand on Castillo in the second round that put him out, knocked him out. And it was a brutal knockout, a big time win for Callum Smith in his debut in the light heavyweight division. Especially that knockout came on the undercard of Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk, so there was a lot of attention on that card too. So Callum Smith bounces back in a major way here at 175. And news that I just read yesterday is that the WBC has already upgraded Callum Smith to their number 1 contender at 175 right now. So the thing is Beterbiev just made a WBC mandatory defense against Marcus Brown. So Callum Smith, he might have to wait around a while to get that title shot with Beterbiev. But the fact that he's an option now and he's got a name, hey, Beterbiev might say, hey, I'm going to go knock out the guy that Canelo couldn't knock out if Beterbiev can't get the unification bout with Joe Smith or a big fight. So Callum Smith has the opportunity to cash in on something big in 2022. He really does, because he's a former champ. He's been in the ring with Canelo. He's going to be looked at as possibly beatable, but looking at his record, he's not in bad shape. He wasn't ranked in this weight class coming in to the year. He was ranked at 168 still, but he's 31 years old. Overall, he is let me see here. He's 28-1 with 20 knockouts. And again, he's now the WBC's number 1 ranked contender. So this guy is in a hell of a position right here. I'm interested in seeing if he gets the title shot that he wants, or some kind of interim bout this month, depending on who they match him up against. But he's going to have opportunities. That's the thing. He's going to have the opportunity to get a potential, like I said, he might just fight in some kind of final eliminator to shore up his mandatory position, and maybe by the end of the year he'll get a shot. See, that's the thing. This is another division that is all centered around Canelo Alvarez and what he does. So if Canelo decides to stay at 168 or move up to cruiserweight and everything, everybody between those divisions, and 175 is right in the middle of those two divisions, is going to be wondering, will Canelo fight me? Well, Canelo, in my opinion, for 175, he's really only going to fight Artur Beterbiev or Dimitri Bivol or Joe Smith Jr., one of the champions. He's going to fight one of them to try a goal of going undisputed in another weight class. But I really believe, and this is the God's honest truth, I really believe that cruiserweight is a viable option for him to accomplish the goal of being a 5-division world champion, the first Mexican to accomplish that. Then also, I believe there's a chance he stays at 168 for one or both fights in 2022, just to confirm, you know, just to fight there and get fights like Jermall Charlo and a third fight with Triple G Gennady Golovkin. I think that's the only reason he stays at 168 is to get bigger fights like that, because both those guys have to come up from middleweight to fight him. So I really believe that heading into 2022, Canelo has a big opportunity to, you know, to do that kind of stuff, and I think he's going to leave the light heavyweight division alone. And Beterbiev, you know, hasn't had the best, hasn't been able to land the big fights that he's been wanting at light heavyweight, you know. So I know the Joe Smith fight is potentially on the table, but fighting Callum Smith again to a Arthur Beterbiev might be appealing, because he might say, hey, you know, I want to knock out a guy that Canelo couldn't knock out. That becomes an appealing proposition for a fighter like Beterbiev. So we're going to see if that happens, and if Callum Smith can get the opportunity that he wants. But there's also Dimitri Bivol there, sitting there as a champion, you know. So Callum Smith, if he wants the opportunity, I think he's going to be able to get it, but we'll have to see what shakes out with the Canelo sweepstakes. So that's it. That's what I got on my number 5 light heavyweight in the world right now at 175 pounds, the former super middleweight champion Callum Smith of the United Kingdom. And my 2021 year-end top 10s continue. I hope you enjoyed it. True Boxing, you've been hit with the truth.